Hello, my crafty friends. I sure hope you're having a joyous day. My name is Robin Pitts with Sir Chauncey Rocco Creative Designs. Welcome to day 2 of the Merry Craftmas Series 2021. I am co-hosting this event with my crafty BFF, Michelle Randolph from Shabby Chic Chick. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful 3D paper closet. This was inspired by Christian from Christian's Crafty Adventure. She is a wonderful, talented crafter and a great source of inspiration. Although we're going to make this project, I will be sure to include a link to her channel as well as her original tutorial. Before we go any further, I wanted to give you a friendly reminder to please hit that red subscribe button and also turn on the notifications so that you will always be notified when we upload a new video. During this Merry Craftmas series, we will be giving lots of giveaways. However, you must be a visible subscriber in order to participate. I love the way this project turned out, and although it looks fairly complex, it's actually quite easy to make. It measures 10.5 inches from top to bottom, 6.5 inches wide, and the depth is 2.5 inches. The paper collection that I used is by MINTAY. It's called Time of Wonders. This is available at ASC Craft Supplies. You can visit them online or on their Etsy store. Also, please feel free to use my coupon code ROBIN10, that's all in capital letters, to receive a 10% discount upon checkout. I really love the shabby chic nature of this project. We have the mauves, the pinks, the cranberries, and the creams. I think it blends together quite nicely. On the top, I've created this beautiful floral spray. We've got winter greenery here, these beautiful pink and cream stamens. I have included these golden foam balls. These are vase fillers that you get at Dollar Tree. I've simply included some of them in various sizes throughout the top. In the center, we have this beautiful winter white rose, and I've created 2 poinsettias flanking the rose in printed paper from the MINTAY collection. And to make the poinsettias, I used this Sizzix poinsettia die. I really love this die. You'll notice that there's lots of sparkle on these flowers. To create that effect, I used my Folk Art Glitterific. This is called Hologram, and I use this on several of my projects. It really adds a beautiful pop to your project. On the front of the closet, I've created this beautiful scene. This is looking into a toy store. You've got the Nutcracker, there's a little toy horse, and a Christmas tree in the back. I've added more poinsettias here on the bottom. Here I've used gold foam beads for one of the poinsettias and then this gorgeous rhinestone pearl for the bottom. To hold the doors shut, I created this little latch here in gold foil. I used this Tim Holtz Sizzix die, and this is the latch that I used. As a matting layer, I've used gold foil throughout, and I think it really pops against the pink paper as well as the green. I've added these antique brass door handles to open the door. Let me give you a look on the side. This is the back. I love this scene here. Now, you're probably wondering why I use such pretty paper for the back. Well, in this case, this box will be standing up. It could be displayed on a shelf, on a coffee table, and I wanted to make sure that the back looked just as pretty as the front. On the bottom of the box, I used these antique brass feet, and I have 4 of them here. I purchased both the handles and the feet on Amazon, and I'll include a link in the description box. Here is a closer look of this beautiful floral spray. I just love these colors. It has so much texture and vibrant colors. Now that I've given you an overview of the outside, I'm going to show you what the inside looks like. This 3D paper closet makes a beautiful gift presentation for Christmas or any time of the year. For my box, I'm using it to store beauty items. So let me show you. To open the doors, I can simply turn the latch to the left. And voila! As you can see, it holds quite a bit, and I have 2 different layers. Now you have an option of configuring this box however you like. I simply wanted 2 panels. However, you can have this spaced in quarters. You can have the shelf going vertically. This layout worked best for my gift. So I'm going to close the door, and I want to take the lid off. Both of these shelves have 2 layers of goodies. I have bath bombs in the top and a face scrub. And on the bottom, I have a face mask, oil blotting paper, everybody needs that. I have a lip scrub, I have body oil, and I have this fun nail kit. Although I've used this for beauty products, you could use this to put cookies, embellishments, anything that you want. Now that I've given you an overview of this project, I'm going to grab my craft materials so that we can make this together. I'll be right back. I've gathered the materials to make my paper closet gift box. I'm going to be using the paper collection by MINTAY called Time of Wonders. To make the closet, you will need 2 pieces of paper that measure 10.5 inches by 12. You want to make sure that you designate 1 piece that will be the lid and 1 piece for the bottom. We're going to work on the bottom first, so we can set this piece off to the side. For the bottom box, you want to cut off about 1/8 inch on the top and 1/8 inch on the side. This will allow the box to fit more comfortably inside the lid. Once you do that, you want to score at 2 inches on all 4 sides, just like I've done here, and then you want to fold and burnish. Next, we are going to make the box, and I'm simply going to cut up along this score line here and then here, and then I'm going to cut up to the first score line. I'm going to slightly miter this piece by cutting it at an angle, and then I'm going to do that on the outer side. So you want to make sure you do that on all 4 sides. Now you should have a piece that looks like this, and you should have 4 tabs, 2 on each side. Before we assemble the box, I want to add in some decorative layers. I think this makes it a bit easier when I'm assembling the box. So make sure you turn your box this way and you have it portrait style. I have 2 decorative panels for the sides, the top, and then 1 for the center, and then also for the back. So let me give you those measurements. For the side panels, I've double matted this, and these measure, for the first mat or the gold, 7 5/8 by 1 3/4, and for the decorative paper, it's 7 3/8 by 1 1/2. For the center panel, I have 2 layers. One is going to go on the inside center of the box, and then I have this beautiful panel which is going to go on the outside of the box. So let's put this piece aside. The first center mat is 7 5/8 by 6 1/8. The second mat is 7 3/8 by 5 7/8. Then I have the decorative layers for the top and the bottom, and these pieces measure 6 1/8 by 1 3/4. That's for the gold mat, and the decorative layer is 5 7/8 by 1 1/2. Don't glue down these pieces yet. Let's just glue down the side panels and this center panel. I've glued on the panels for the inside, and while your box is flat, go ahead and glue on this back panel as well. So let's turn this piece over. Now we're going to assemble the box. So you're going to add glue to this tab here. We're going to fold it in. Make sure you line your edges up so it's nice and square. You're going to do that on all 4 sides. So go ahead and do that now. Once you glue your tabs in, then you can go ahead and add in your decorative panel, and that will cover up the tabs. Once your bottom box is assembled, it should look like this. Let's put this aside and grab the top lid. This is the lid, and this piece measures 10 1/2 by 12. On the 10 1/2 side, you're going to score at 2 inches, 2 1/2, 5 1/4, 8, 8 1/2. You're going to turn it over to the 12-inch side, and you're going to score at 2, 2 1/2, 9 1/2, and 10. So go ahead and do that now. Now that you have your piece scored and burnished, we're going to create the closet. If you look closely at the score marks, you'll notice that I've created a little X here, here, and here. I've gone down from the top, 1, 2, and over from the left, 1, 2. And I've done the same thing on the right side, over from the right, 1, 2. And I have a little X here in the center of the page. That's a 5 1/4 mark. And I also have it here on the bottom. So it's the second score mark from the bottom and the second score mark in. What we're going to do is create an eye. We're going to cut down the center score line, and we're going to cut along the top here from the X to the X, and we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. To make the cuts, you can use either an X-Acto knife and a ruler or your trimmer. I'm going to use my trimmer, and we're going to cut this out together. So this is the 10.5 inch side. I'm going to put this in my trimmer, and I'm going to line it up right in the center of the score mark. And again, I'm only cutting right in the center to the second score line. So I'm going to put my blade all the way up to the top where that X is. You don't want to overcut, and then I'm going to come all the way down to where that second X is on the bottom. So you should have a piece that looks like this. Then I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to line the X's up again in my trimmer right along the score line. And I'm going to score from the top X all the way across to this X here. So it should look like this. We're going to repeat the same thing on the bottom. Okay, so now we have our closet. Now you should have a piece that looks like this. So we have our panels. What we're going to do is fold this piece back to the score line. Okay, take your bone folder and make sure you burnish it. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like so. So we have our little doors. Now we're going to add the acetate. You will need a piece of acetate that measures 7 3/4 by 6 3/8. For my piece, I've added in score tape. However, you can glue this if you like. You want to turn your piece over. And we're going to attach the acetate just like so. You want to center it around the doors and in between the score line. So go ahead and add your acetate now. Now we have our acetate glued in. We want to create the box. We're going to create the box just like we did the bottom. So we are going to cut on this first score mark here up to this first score line, and we're going to do it on all 4 sides. So we're going to cut here, you want to miter slightly, and then miter the sides. I'm going to cut this score line, miter, and then miter the edge. So go ahead and do that on all 4 corners. Now that we have our 4 box tabs cut, we can assemble the box. But before we do that, I want to add in the decorative panels on the doors. And I've cut out 4 panels. The first mat, which is a gold, is 6 3/4 by 2 1/2, and the mat, the decorative paper, is 6 1/2 by 2 1/4. You'll need 4 pieces. On the outside, I've used foam tape, and on the inside of the door, I've just cut the panels, and then I'm going to glue them down flat. So let's go ahead and glue those down now. Now that we have the door panels glued on, let's go ahead and glue on the side panels and the top panels. So the side panels measure, for the first mat, 7 3/4 by 1 3/4, and for the decorative panel, it's 7 1/2 by 1 1/2. And so these will fit right here. And you're going to cover up this score mark here, so don't worry about that. That's going to go right here. And then we have the panels for the top and bottom. And for the first mat, that's 6 1/4 by 1 3/4. And the decorative mat is 6 by 1 1/2. And those are going to go right here. So go ahead and glue those on now. Now that we have our decorative panels down, we need to glue down the door trim, which is this piece right here.
I have the side panels, and you'll need two, which measure for the first mat 7 3/4 by 3/8, and the second mat is 7 5/8 by 1/4. So these will go right here. And then I have the top and bottom trim for the mat. That's 6 1/4 by 3/8, and the decorative mat is 6 1/8 by 1/4. So these pieces are going to go here and here.
Now we're going to miter these panels. This will give it a nice finished look. To miter your panels,
take one left panel and the bottom panel, or any of the panels. You're going to align these pieces together so that they're perpendicular, just like so. And then you can either draw a line, or if you feel comfortable, you can cut from this edge directly to the center, just like so. Okay, and that'll create an edge just like this. And so you're going to have to do that on all 4 sides, but this is the way it looks on the bottom. So you want to do that to each of the 4 corners, and then we'll be back to assemble the box. Now that we have the door trim attached, we can assemble the box. Before I do that, I did want to point out these 2 little mini door handles. I purchased these from Amazon, and I'll be sure to include a link in the description box. I think these add a nice touch to the door. Now, you don't need to use them. You could use little beads or nothing at all. So let's assemble our box. You want to grab your bottom box and place the lid on top. And we're going to just fold down the tabs just like so on the top and the bottom. By gluing down the tabs this way, this gives you a nice secure fit for your box. So I'm going to glue the tabs. Okay, you want to make sure the edges line up nicely. So you want to go ahead and glue down the tabs on all 4 sides. Now that we have our box fully assembled, we need to create the shelf that will go inside. So I'm going to set the base aside, and you'll need a piece of cardstock that measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/8. On the 5 3/8 side, we're going to score at 3/8 of an inch, 7/8 of an inch, 2 7/8, and 3 3/8. On the 8 1/4 side, we're going to score at 3/8, 7/8, 7 3/8, and 7 7/8. Once you do that, you want to go ahead and fold and burnish along the score lines. And then we need to trim out some of the pieces. So I have the paper going on the 8 1/4 inch side. Let's turn it around. And we're going to make a little box. If you can see these pencil marks, so there are 4 little boxes here. We're going to cut that out. We're going to cut out this entire section here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to cut out these 4 little boxes on the right and the boxes on the left. So go ahead and do that now. Now you'll have a piece that looks like this. What you want to do is miter slightly this end tab, and you want to do that on both sides. Then we're going to assemble the box, and to do that, we're simply going to fold this over like so. We're going to glue this tab down, and then we have these little tabs which will fold in just like so. So this looks like a little gift box for a candy bar. Now that you've made your shelf, we can insert it into the box. But before we do that, you need to think about what items you want to include in the box, and that will determine the box configuration. So if you wanted to have it split inside, you would lengthen this shelf and you'd have it go like this. If you wanted to have 4 quadrants, you'd have a piece that goes like this, and then 2 smaller pieces here. For my project, I want to have this in the middle, just like so. And before I glue this down, I want to make sure that I'm gluing this part to the back. This is where we have the ledge of the paper. So that's going to be facing inwards. And I'm just going to do a dry fit here to determine the halfway point. Okay, so I think that's where I want the shelf to be. And I'm going to put glue on both ends and in the back. But before I do that, I'm going to create mats to cover the top, the side, and the underside. So let me give you those dimensions now. I have attached my shelf, and I have it just slightly off of half of the box because I wanted the bottom portion to be a little bit larger than the top. Let me give you the mat sizes. So the mats on the top and the bottom. The first mat, the gold piece, is 6 1/4 by 1 3/4. The decorative panel is 6 by 1 1/2. And for this front ledge here, the first mat is 6 1/4 by 3/8. And the second decorative panel is 6 1/8 by 1 1/4. So our inside of the box is complete. Let's put our lid on. Our lid fits on perfectly, and ta-da! This is our cute little 3D paper closet. So now we just have to decorate this and put feet on the bottom. Let me show you some of the ideas I'm thinking about. I have these gold beads, and then I also have this antique hardware which goes nicely with the handle. I'm going to finish decorating this offline, and then I'll be back with the final reveal.
This is my completed project, and I love the way this turned out. This is just a beautiful, shabby chic gift box and also home decor. This concludes my review of my 3D paper closet. Hopefully I've inspired you with new and creative ideas. If you like this video, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, if you decide to make this project, please tag me. I'd love to see what you've made. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for another day of the Merry Craftmas Series 2021. Again, Michelle and I will be posting new videos each weekend, so be sure to tune in. And last but not least, we will be giving away fun prizes, but you have to be subscribed, and don't forget to turn on your notifications. Up next, hop on over to Michelle's channel, Shabby Chic Chick. You'll find her link in the description box. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you soon, and Merry Craftmas.